Stepping out of the shadows.
Yeah, they're right. That's true. Great point.
We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth.
Wise, you tried to become the arbiter of truth.
I've been around a long
Undoubtedly.
time, and I've learned a little too much about how to hurt people.
Every YouTube apology video, you don't have a ukulele, you're not
30
sitting
seconds
behind
before
your
you
bed,
attack.
you're not
Get
crying,
ready.
you didn't start the video out like with, this is the hardest video I've ever had to make. Like, the video title isn't, I'm sorry. Like, you need to, like, this guy, what the fuck are you, he has no dog. Like, what is this?
I see it as a blessing.
What is this? Come on, man.
That, but maybe you scored a better god.
But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially
He's right about that.
in the US.
Absolutely. Hey. Hey, that he's right. Absolutely. 100%.
So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community.
Yeah, when Mark Zuckerberg says we're sorry, what he means is that there is a amalgamation of lizards and extraterrestrial, otherworldly, eldritch beings that occupy his body space simultaneously, and he's apologizing on behalf of that group, not on behalf of Facebook.
Should be easy.
Everybody needs a hand sometimes.
Second,
Or a
we're going to
dragon.
simplify our content policies, get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse.
Absolutely. W change. 100%. This should have never been like this. You were totally wrong for doing it in the first place.
Must be
Thank God you're changing it. Massive fucking W. Huge fucking W.
What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions, shut out people with different ideas.
That's right.
And it's gone too far.
You're completely right. Absolutely 100%.
So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship. We used to have filters that
Algorithm filter. It's the same thing. Like YouTube has this.
scanned for any policy.
Did that hurt?
Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower-severity violations,
Well, this is smart, right? I mean, like, every single time that somebody gets banned for saying COVID is fake, this is a point of time where, unless the amount of child sexual abuse material on the website is zero, every ban that's done for a person saying that COVID is fake or gender is binary is actively taking resources away from reducing, like, legitimate, like, let's say, death threats or child sexual abuse or something like that. Like, there's a direct comparison. It's binary. Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying, right? It's like this is a zero-sum environment.
we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take
Vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep
The
up
problem
the
is that
momentum.
the filters make mistakes, and they take down a lot of content that they
Yeah.
shouldn't. So by dialing them back, we're going to dramatically reduce the amount of censorship on our platforms. We're also going to tune our content filters to require much higher confidence before taking down content.
That's good.
The reality is that this is a trick. It means we're going to catch less attacks. And we'll also reduce the number of innocent posts out.
I appreciate the honesty there. I'm surprised that he would say this.
Yeah.
This is actually probably the
Grace
most,
us with victory!
this is the best thing that he's said so
Feel
far,
the Panther's fury.
is that he just straight up says, yeah, we're going to have more bad content on the platform. Yeah, that's what's going to happen, and it's going to happen for fucking sure. Absolutely.
We are double KO.
Fourth, bringing back the civic code. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed. So we stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era, and we're starting to get feedback that people
Never wanted less politics. They wanted less of politics that they disagreed with.
want to see this content again. So we're going to start phasing this back into Facebook, Instagram, and Threads while working to keep the communities friendly and positive. Fifth, We're going to move our personal safety and content moderation teams out of California.
You're mine.
No way they're going to Texas.
And our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas.
A strange mystical object.
The moon haunts you.
Healing magic. Lovely.
Man, what a good call.
Hit the gas.
Holy shit. Texas the GOAT? I guess so, man. Holy fucking shit, we are so back. Oh, it is. Texas is gonna go blue. There's actually been cases of that might happen at some point, maybe in like 30 years. Isn't Austin the third gayest city in the US though? No, it's whatever city you're in. I don't know.
As we work to promote free expression, I think it will help us build trust to do this work in places where there are less concerned about
Don't let anything stand in your way.
It is full of a bunch of commies, and we're gonna take it over to Texas because they're based and they know what the Constitution really is. That's what he's trying to say. He can't say that, but that's what he's trying to say.
Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world.
And you want to know the real reason why he's probably doing this?
Step aside.
It's because Governor Abbott, like Greg Abbott, who's the guy in charge of Texas now, has put in a tremendous amount of effort to attract tech companies from California to come to Texas. So what he's really saying is that we're going to have to pay less money. This is going to be cheaper for us.
I've done things I regret.
Going after American
Now I do
companies
things I can be
pushing
proud
to
of.
censor.
There's a lot of
The
reasons
U.S.
why
has the strongest constitutional protections for free expression. Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship and making it difficult to build anything.
True hunter.
Yeah.
Latin American
The
countries
moon haunts you.
Something doesn't feel right.
free
Judge,
expression.
jury,
Europe has an
executioner.
ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship and making it difficult to build anything.
Right. That's right.
Not everything's
Yep.
black and white, Frank.
That's right. Y'all need to wake the fuck up over there. Yep. That's right. Y'all. How y'all let this happen? How you guys let this happen? They're running rules around you. They're telling you you can't talk about people going to jail for tweets. What are y'all doing? How y'all let that happen over there? Y'all crazy?
Good.
Quit being pussies.
Against the world.
The snipers
Put
will
us in jail? Maybe. Is there any oil in Europe? Maybe that could get us. That could give the government a reason. Is there oil in Europe or not? Send us in Norway? Okay, well there we go. We start there. That's smart. So bro, this guy just put all of Europe on notice. I like it.
Latin American countries
Yeah.
see
Leave on to
reports
wide
that
berth if
in
you
order
can.
companies to quietly take care.
This is what happened with Twitter, I believe. It was either Twitter or some other website recently with, I think it was Brazil, because there's some guy, maybe
She brought a slingshot to a
there's some
gunfight.
asshole guy with a big mustache. I think his name's Maduro. People don't like him.
Tremble before blast.
China has censored our apps from using work.
Wait, maybe
The only way
Tremble
to
before
pull back
blast.
on this global trend is with the support of the U.S. government. And that's why it's been so difficult over the past.
I actually completely support Mark with this.
Get ready. Here come
I
the bad
totally
guys.
support him. And I think the United States government does have to put in, like, the fact is that I view, like, if we're not creating the narrative, somebody else is.
The moon haunts you.
So I would rather the United States, because this is the country that I live in, and it's what I think is the best country in the world. That's just the way it is.
I finished
And I'd rather us be creating
Only 60 seconds
and
left.
I don't want to have
Get
these
that vehicle
countries. And
moving
this
again.
is another big thing. I'm actually going to make a video about this. I was going to record this yesterday, but I'm a piece of shit. So I didn't. But I'm going to talk about how Marvel Rivals has a lot of censorship in the text.
We will
I
guide
think that we're
Spider Zero
entering
to
into
the
a
Weaver.
period where we're going to have a lot of soft censorship and a lot of soft suppression.
Judge, jury, executioner!
Push towards an Americanized audience, and I'm really afraid that people are going to accept it and effectively accept totalitarian speech regulation. I'm really afraid of that.
The final 10 seconds.
Nobody cares?
So
No,
close.
see, like, you don't
This is your
care
big
until it
chance.
matters. Like, it's something that doesn't matter at all. Until it means something.
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
4 years, when even the U.S. government has pushed for censorship. By going after us, the American public, it has emboldened other governments to go but now we have the opportunity to restore free expression. I am excited to take it. It'll take time to get this right, and these are complex systems, so they're never going to be perfect. There's also a lot of illegal stuff that we still need to work very hard to remove. But the bottom line is that after years of having our content moderation work focused primarily on removing content, it is time to focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our systems, and getting back to our roots of giving people voice. I'm looking forward to this next chapter. Stay good out there, and more to come soon.
So, Alex Jones asked the prescient question, what do you think Zuckerberg is really up to? Great question, Alex. Let's talk about it.
I want to talk about
The reason why this is happening is because Mark is afraid of these international companies, his company that is an international company being beholden to regulations from 30 different entities that all have different speech regulations that are trying to control him, summon him to court, sue him, fine his company, and cause a bunch of problems. So what
Pick your
he's
hero.
doing here is
Or
he's
villain.
trying to
I'm not
leverage
judging.
this alignment with freedom of speech with like Trump's alignment with freedom of speech, so hopefully Trump's influence can prevent these countries from
No one
actively trying to
escapes
suppress
hell.
the growth of his website. That's what I think he's trying to do. Now, this is a smart thing that Mark is doing, and the truth is that there's a convergence of goals here and alignment that it's actually in our best interest that he does this. But it's also important to keep in mind that it's not necessarily a change
Every
in heart.
mortal is my subject.
It's a change in
I
balance
rule
sheets,
all.
and it's a change in viewership, user base numbers, and shareholder value.
30
That's
seconds
what's
before
really
you attack.
scary,
Get
right?
ready.
That's what's scary for them, not speech. And that's where
I
I'm at.
smell
So
a
it's not
familiar
yeah,
hint
exactly.
of
This isn't like
divinity
he's had a
on you,
change of heart.
mortal.
It's all about money. It is. It's a business decision. And I'm going to tell you again. Do you want to know what I think Mark Zuckerberg really thinks?
I remember
I'm going to show
him
you
well.
what Mark Zuckerberg really thinks
were
about the people that
nearly
use
lovers
Facebook and
once.
launch. So Mark Zuckerberg,
Battle starts in 5.
whenever
4,
people asked
3,
him why they
2,
signed up for
1.
Facebook, he said people
All you
just
need to do
submitted
is
their
capture the
information.
mission
I
area.
don't know why.
Got it?
They quote, "Trust me, dumb
And I
fucks."
thought the agents of Atlas were a strange crew.
See, I actually think Mark Zuckerberg is kind of like a relatively normal guy.
I want your soul.
I bet if you talk to this guy, you could have a conversation about the Roman era. He could easily talk about, you know, like how, you know, let's say the Treaty of Versailles led to the rise of Hitler.
Mortals use
He could
these.
talk about,
Shall
you know,
I?
like what,
Looks like the
you know,
mission
different
area
videos.
is
Yeah, he's not
yours to
stupid. This
capture
guy's
now.
not a fucking moron, right?
Capture the mission
And,
area.
anyway, yeah, the lizard is still resolved. Yeah, Carthage period. Sure, but like I pointed, like you said, corporations believe. Yeah, but that's the real Mark Zuckerberg. So
Mortals
I
use
think that
these.
he never cared about the moderation. He only did the moderation back then. Why do you think he went to Congress 4 years ago asking them to help him censor the internet? Because he thought that's where the wind was blowing. Mark Zuckerberg is an extremely intelligent, extremely opportunistic,
An opportune
very
find that
business-minded
soul.
person. This is not a stupid person, but he is, above all things, a survivor.
I am barely harmed.
So when the tides were blowing towards censorship, that's where his sails were pointed. Now they're pointed towards freedom of speech, and the boat's turning around. That's the way it is. And whether you think this is a good thing or not, or whatever, he's
Your team's
opportunistic.
capture
Yes.
progress has passed the halfway point.
The fact
Control
is
seized.
that it's in what I believe to
Fine
be my
victory.
best interest what
We
he's
have
doing.
earned a little
So
pride.
I'm happy that he's doing this. I recognize that it is not necessarily for some sort of ideological reason, which I would hope it would be for.
Another
Ultimately, I
soul to
agree
join
with
my
you.
legion.
So that's it. You have to be opportunistic in business. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm not saying he's a bad person. I think he's totally fine. I don't hate Mark Zuckerberg. All I'm trying to say is that the reason that he's doing this is not ideologically driven. It is driven by a concern of survivorship. That is what it is. It's what it was 4 years ago. It's what it is now. None of these companies actually care. I don't think any of the people that are running any of these social media
Here's
companies,
this life.
whether it be Twitch, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Twitter, or Facebook or Instagram,
You've captured more than
none of
half of
them
the
really
mission area.
care about
Keep going.
censorship at all. They don't want to deal with it. Because if you look at it abstractly, what is censorship for a social media company? It's work. They don't want to have extra work. So if they can just let people post whatever
Armed and dangerous, dog!
so the only reason why they don't do
Always glad
that
to help.
is that they're worried about losing either
Armed
advertisers
and
or
dangerous, dog!
that's it.
Control lost.
And so he also had he not gone
Well
along
done,
with the censorship
Giganto.
bullshit, he was going to get sued into oblivion in Europe and parts of the U.S. Exactly. And that's why he's trying to ask Trump to help him. Because now Trump can potentially prevent him from getting sued or stop bad things from happening to his company if he aligns his values with Trump's values. This is a very good decision by Mark. And it greatly helps everybody
Don't
else.
mess with the amazing
Yeah,
Spider-Man!
that's the way that I see it. What do you guys think? Do you think Elon does or the same? You'd have to look at each
The
individual
area's almost
circumstance.
yours.
So yeah. Facebook is also at saturation rate, and he needs to help break the stagnation. Yeah, that's also a really
Judge,
good point.
jury,
I feel my teeth grating as I thumbs this up.
executioner!
Hey, there are always going to be cases where you find yourself aligned with people that you don't normally agree with in order to achieve a common goal. That is something that's called being an adult. That's called being a normal person, and that's also called winning. You're never going to win if you impose endless purity tests on people.
They're winning, but you
Constantly
still got a
test them to
chance.
make sure that you align with them 100% rather than only 98%. That's the truth.
Control seized.
A total fucker. Yeah. Yeah, does the W take? Most people would agree. But keep in mind, it's kind of
that's
funny when
better.
Elon buys X and all the people hate him, but somehow I feel like this video will get a warm reception. Well, of course it will. Yeah, people just don't like Elon Musk for a lot of other reasons too. He's literally calling out Californians as based lefties, biased lefties. Yeah, exactly. You can hate Elon as much as you want, but without him, this wouldn't have happened. That's true. That's exactly true. I think if
I have
Elon
made
Musk
my
never bought
share of
Twitter, none of this
mistakes.
would have happened.
But I am
This
fighting
it
every
was-
day to
I
make
think it actually
amends.
was the domino. It was the domino that started all of this. Meta's chief policy man. Really? Let me see if I can find this.
30 seconds
Fox
before you
News
attack.
interview
Get ready.
Meta.
We're eliminating the third-party fact-checking system.
This is from today.
Well-intentioned at the outset, but there's just been too much political bias in what they choose to fact-check and
Yep.
how, so we're just scrapping
right.
it
When they,
entirely.
what do you mean? You mean you?
The fact-checkers.
You set up your, but they're yours.
Well, they're,
right?
so
Absolutely based question. What do you mean they're your
The battle
guys?
starts in 5, 4, 3.
the idea was they're
2,
independent fact-checkers, but they've just been too
All you
biased,
need
and
to
so
do
what
is
we're going to do
capture the
instead is
mission
adopt
area.
a system
Got
like
it?
X has of community notes. So we're just going to rely on our own community of users to provide people more information
And
about
another
what
reason why this is happening is because it's probably a lot cheaper to have community notes than have fact checkers. So, like, with all of these policy changes that they're making, there's a converging business advantage to doing it as well.
There's no question that the things that have been better coming from Mark, but there's also no question that there has been a change over the last 4 years. We saw a lot of societal and political pressure all in the direction of more content moderation, more censorship, and we've got a real opportunity. We've got a new administration and a new president coming in who are big defenders of free expression, and that makes a difference.
You don't know about that. But, like, you know, right, I mean, and it also, I think it's telling that they did this interview on Fox, too. So this is the actual interview. It happened, I guess, maybe a few hours ago.
Turn around, be quick.
All right, buckle up. We got a Fox News alert moments ago. Meta, the parent company of Facebook,
an alert.
and Instagram, announcing they are changing their policies to focus on free speech. CEO Mark Zuckerberg saying,
Just what I needed.
We're going to get back to our
I
roots.
should be singing
Focus on
lullaby.
reducing
We
mistakes,
must hold our ground.
simplifying our policies, restoring our
Simply magical.
platforms. More specifically, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes, similar to X, starting with these.
Double KO.
Wow, big. This is a big deal. Changes include ending its third-party fact-checking program and lifting restrictions on topics such as immigration and gender identity.
Huge
Capturing more than
study.
half
Every
of the mission
single one
area.
of these changes
Keep
is a
going.
huge
We
positive.
are undefeatable.
Absolutely self-serving, totally for a business reason, but in my best interest as well, so I'll take a W.
More important to talk about. Also, until now, Meta
They have
used
limits on that?
systems
Yeah.
to scan for violations.
For a long time, you couldn't even question any type of transgender stuff at all.
God of Thunder!
And the problem is that a lot of people don't believe it.
Both have found
Like,
these stars.
I don't really care personally. It's not really a big issue for me. I just try to be respectful of people regardless of like what they say to them. So it's not a big problem
Wow,
for
4 in
me.
a
But
row.
for many other people, they really don't like it. So you think these policies will open a Windows door for AI fake content? No.
Now, a disappearing.
And they resulted in too much
Not-
censorship.
not a door that's already been opened.
They focus on
Yeah.
tackling illegal and severe violations like terrorism, fraud, to name a few. And joining us right now to name one, Fox and Friends
This is the
exclusive
guy.
Meta's Chief Global Affairs Officer, Joel Kaplan, joins us live here on the couch. Joel, welcome.
Another epic victory.
Okay, so you are announcing these big changes as of 2 minutes ago.
2 minutes.
If you're making big changes, does that mean you were doing something wrong before?
Look, this is a great opportunity for us to reset the balance in favor of free
Yes.
expression. As Mark says in that video,
Yes, we were doing something wrong before. Stop doing that because we're worried it's going to make us more. Great question.
we're doing today is we're getting back to our roots in free expression. There's a number of changes we're making, but if I could, and just highlight three.
Yep.
First is,
Help get that
as
vehicle
you
to
heard,
its destination.
we're eliminating the third-party fact-checking system.
That's money.
Well-intentioned at the outset, but there's just
Yeah.
been too much political bias
right.
in what they choose to fact-check
Because they're
and
from
how.
California.
So we're just
Chaos
scrapping this out.
surrounds
What do you
us.
mean? You mean
But
you?
I
The
would
fact-checker. You
gladly
set up
show
your-
it who is in control.
I really appreciate, like, I think Fox News is just as bullshit as the most liberal person in this chat, okay? But I really gotta say that I appreciate
You're not
them
going
asking these
anywhere.
questions. What do you mean, they? What do you mean? What do you mean, those people? You mean you people? Yeah, what? Right? Yeah.
You are under my spell.
Well, so the idea was they're independent fact-checkers, but they just got too
that's
biased. So what we're going to do instead is adopt a system like X has, a community notes. So we're just going to rely on our own community
You're not going
to
anywhere.
provide people more information about what they're seeing. I think that's
So give us an example. If we said if the headline is Donald Trump won the presidency, then anyone in the community can write notes underneath it?
yeah, great question.
Our enemies are here.
Computer?
I'm hurt.
So somebody can write a note, and then the way it works is different
Other people
different
review
people on
and
the
agree on
platform
it.
can sort of vote on that note.
Yeah,
And if you
exactly.
get people who usually disagree, who all say, yeah, that sounds right, then that note gets put on the post and people see it. X has been doing it for a while.
This is actually
working really well, and we're going to adopt that.
Yeah, because it does work really well. And I think that type of an algorithmic decision making is a very good one.
I am ready to put on a
Basically,
show.
if people who are super liberal and people who are super conservative agree that sharks are dangerous. Your powers are mine! Sharks are in fact dangerous. That's it. Yeah, copying X. Yeah, because, well, because I feel like they're the ones who are the most cutting edge. There's a reason why Biden announced that he was resigning from the presidency on Twitter and not Facebook.
So, and what are the other ones?
Yeah,
I know
thank
you want to go.
Yeah, thank you. So the second one is they've just become too restrictive over time about what people can say, including about those kind of sensitive topics that you mentioned that people want to discuss and debate. Immigration, trans issues, gender.
Oh, he just
we
says
want to
it.
make it so that, bottom line, if you can say it on TV, you can say it on the floor of Congress, you certainly ought to be able to say it on Facebook and Instagram.
They're eating the cats and dogs.
Without fear of censorship. So we're changing that. And then the last thing, if I could, we're also going to change way less over-enforcement and way fewer mistakes that actually make up the vast majority of censorship experiences. So big changes,
I guess the big question is where the change is coming from, because it's hard to notice. There's been a change in Mark Zuckerberg. You've
Reborn
seen
from
him
the chaos.
as, you know,
He's
respectfully, the nerdy kid. Change over to the jujitsu. He's put on some lean muscle.
He's so right. He's so fucking right. Absolutely. 100%.
To his viewpoints have changed, his posting content when he does speak.
Only
He's
60
taking
seconds
a
left.
meeting with Trump, taking a different
Yeah,
stance.
the reason why it happened is that, yes, he started taking testosterone, so now he cares about, jiu-jitsu, freedom of speech, and, exercise. So yeah, that's the reason why.
Friends, gather
On
around.
certain things. Are these changes coming from him or from what the public is saying?
There's no question that the things that happen that are coming from Mark. But there's also no question that there has been a change over the last 4 years. We saw a lot of societal and political pressure all in the direction of
Your powers are mine!
censorship. And we've got to realize,
I think this guy needs a raise. He's an S tier bullshit.
10 seconds.
He is. This guy's really good. I can tell when somebody's a bullshitter because I don't know why. But this guy's really good at doing it. That's his job. Yeah, this guy needs a bonus for this.
Now, a disappearing act.
we've got a new administration and a new president coming in who are big defenders of free expression.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference. One of the things we've experienced is that when you have a U.S. president and administration that's pushing for censorship, it makes it open season for other governments around the world that don't have
Vehicle reached the
First
checkpoint.
Amendment
Keep up
to
the
really put
momentum.
pressure on U.S. companies. We're going to work with President Trump to push back on that kind of thing around the world.
So,
Man.
why now? I know you said it's a change, but did you feel restricted over the last 4 years? And this is the first time you have. It's in your business
what I
interest to express.
It's in your
Magic in these stones. Just imagine what they could do.
Well, there's no question.
You're not going
that
anywhere.
there's an opportunity here with a new president taking office, as I said.
This should help me.
I am ready to put on a
It's
show.
gonna give us
This guy.
Protective shield. There they are.
get back to those values that Mark has talked about for a long. Mark gave a big speech 6 years ago at Georgetown about free expression, about these values. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of political and societal pressure here and around the world to push away from those values. Provide a space for free expression.
putting pressure on you specifically? Were they calling? Were they didn't like a post?
He's not
Were
gonna
they?
say that.
What did they say? Take it down.
Yeah, so
Almost
Mark
there.
talked about
Don't
this in
turn
a
back now.
letter he sent to the House Judiciary Committee a few months ago. That sort of outlined the way in which we got a lot of pressure around COVID in particular to take down the
Straw that broke the camel's back.
satire.
Chin up.
No joke.
That's better.
So the main good experience that kind of pressure.
You're not going anywhere.
There's a real opportunity here for President Trump to his commitment to free expression. That's the book we want to have.
I won't make the same mistakes again.
And that is unleash
Pulse
independent
charge,
journalists.
fire! I'm doing this my way!
Rest easy now. You learn.
Would that be part of this cleansing process?
So we've had an opportunity to do a lot of that with the House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jordan over the last few months and years, and he put out a really thorough report on the experience we and other companies have had. Honestly, we're pretty focused
I
on
think that it would be good for the trust of the public for them to release the amount of ways and the types of ways that the government put pressure on them to censor things. Because like it's for me, like I'm talking like this is my personal opinion, right? For me, it would dramatically change the way that I would view their censorship if you shifted from instead of they were censoring that they had the White House that was like putting their thumb on them to do it. Because I would honestly, I wouldn't really blame them if the government was pressuring them to censor. Because the government's the fucking government, and they're probably afraid of like straight up, like the White House. Yeah, like I mean, it's still censorship. Yeah, but it's censorship with a gun near. I mean, of course they're gonna do that. They're on your channel. Capitalism should be regulated. Capitalism is regulated.
I am ready to put on a show.
Are you retarded?
You're out of here. Leave.
It is. That's why we have that regulated.
Be right there.
Anyway,
Armed and dangerous!
this chain. I thought.
Again!
Only 60 seconds left.
This shield should be nice.
The future and
Another epic victory.
really open up the space for expression.
Is the idea to get out of politics totally and focus on just the enterprise of the free market, people debating things, or is it for Mark Zuckerberg to become like an Elon Musk and be influential as well, work with the next
Great question.
administration, or
Yeah.
a little bit of both? I don't know.
It's obviously
Well,
both.
Mark's always going to be Mark Zuckerberg.
Always both.
But I think there is a real opportunity to work with the new administration. Both
Itu bahasa Koreanya itu artinya jagoan cycler.
American leadership and technology innovation. This is something we've seen, and Trump is really
Pakai Google Translate cycler.
Pick your hero.
Iya.
Or villain. I'm not judging.
Nggak apa-apa. Bagus juga kayaknya ini. School ini.
Oh ya, coba aja pakai.
Squirrel.
Moderation, I think, a lot of
Satu lagi healer sama satu tank. Aduh.
Astaga, ininya Vanguard-nya banyak sekali ininya.
Iya.
DPS-nya 4 orang, Pak.
Saya doang yang heal ini. Ntar saya ganti dulu. Saya nggak usah pakai ini nih kalau gitu. Harus pakai ini dah.
To like test and
You don't
use
have to run
everybody's
away
data
from
on
your
the internet.
past. Just
And so
look
they
it in
want
the
to be on the
eye
good
and
side
say,
of the government.
I'm
Because like
that
you
now.
can't like
30 seconds
suing
before you
somebody.
attack. Get ready.
Like if you sue Facebook
Oh,
for
ada
$1
batunya
billion
dia.
and you win, the person who makes Facebook pay that money is the government.
Are there squirrels in
Lumayan
your
sakit
room?
juga itu dong karakternya. Banyak make juga.
So if the government's on their side, you're gonna lose.
Well, you know, it sounds better if they're not taking instructions from the federal government.
Battle starts in 5,
Administration.
4,
3,
3, 2, 1.
that
All
they're
you need to
going
do
to
is capture the mission area. Got it?
going forward. But ultimately, is this one of the things you're doing as a company to make sure that Meta can be on social media?
Yeah.
I think when
Mereka ada tank ya Spider-Man.
Oh.
thing is for individual users to have the ability to decide themselves.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now.
Spider-Man mereka lumayan bagus Spider-Man mereka.
Capture the mission area.
Oh tim kita ke depan sih, kan capture-nya di sini nih, musuhnya ada 4 orang nih di sini.
Things everybody have no business being on.
Yeah, everybody agrees that's bad. I feel like enforcing terrorism.
Mati, Venomnya, tank mereka mati.
That one's a little bit scary to me. I'll be honest, I think it's a bit scary. Because I don't know, like, where do you draw that line? But the other ones, I think, yeah, obviously makes sense. Well, what about bullying? Yeah, okay, well, no. This is a...
Spider-Man mereka lumayan ya. Lincah dia mainnya.
On the hill and he had
Terus darat.
kind enough to turn around and
Ada
apologize to the
saya ini.
families, but all those families
Saya juga
lost
tahu.
their kids from bullying.
Saya doang yang heal
Starting to
soalnya.
get concerned because eventually when she's in high school or even after,
If
she'll
your
be
kid kills himself because of bullying on social media,
Yeah.
you've probably also failed as a parent. I'm sick of these shitty parents blaming websites for the fact
Nggak ada
they can't take
ininya
care of
si
their
damage
kids.
numbernya ya. Coba ada damage numbernya enak kelihatan kalau kita
Now, you
nge-hit.
can't say this, right? Can't say this on national television because there's like this is an emotional blackmail question. It is. It's a total emotional blackmail question. Where
Mati
it's like,
tuh.
well, what about bullying? See, there's little girls that are killing themselves because of this. Like, are you gonna? Do you want little girls to
Every little
die?
bit helps.
Well, the answer is that if you're a little girl, maybe you shouldn't be on the
Kalau
website.
kalian mau maju, saya ada super ini.
Get the fuck off the website.
Ya, udah dalam kita, udah dalam.
Massive emotional manipulation. That's a horrible thing.
Don't mess with the
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Bencinya Spider-Man-nya.
faced with these situations.
Spider-Man. Oh sama mungkin itu nggak habis-habis dulu cakung. Nggak ada soalnya.
Apa itu? Iya, pakai apa lagi?
Pakai ini yang ada ekor ini.
Salah.
Udah nggak habis-habis dah pelurunya cakung itu tembak-tembak lah.
Iya ya, bener ya, serius.
Iya.
Kita kalah ya?
Iya kalau tuh.
Yeah, at least. This is professional.
Gara-gara kita ini satu healer.
What their kids can see and do
Tuh.
online, who can contact them.
Everything in this place feels so familiar, and yet so strange.
If you are an underage person on social media, you should not be allowed peer-to-peer
30
messaging
seconds
to any
before you
other
attack. Get ready.
Mereka bilangnya need a healer, saya sendiri gitu.
Hey, I saw that turret thing you do.
Bagaimana caranya itu ya, need healer gitu?
Kenapa emang?
Need healer tuh tulisan-tulisan itu.
Oh itu di bawah. Kalau saya tekan bawah.
Friends? No, because
Oh.
the pedos can get you to add them to your friends,
The battle
and then
starts in
they
5,
get in through that.
4,
No,
3,
I'm just
2,
Kalau saya tekan D-pad bawah.
all you need to do
Like,
is
let's just
capture
say
the mission
that's
area.
what it is.
Got it?
I like hanging around groups.
Change those settings on Instagram without your parents' permission.
Siapa mau bilang
I think that's
W?
a really good
Selalunya orang bilang W kalau menang siapa?
Kan semangat.
Ya, tuh. Pelurunya Capung nggak habis-habis tuh. Asalkan Capung dekat-dekat saya aja.
Oh gitu ya? Oh enak dong.
Nah. Kita pakai support ini soalnya, support itu.
without being put into a
Looks like the
account.
mission area is
Mati lagi.
Your kid's trying to sign up and
Masih ya? Ah, mati.
If you want to verify and actually keep minors off of social media, you effectively can't do that without at least a third party or a direct.
Ke depan, kita udah depan nih.
there is no other
Venomnya mati, tank mereka mati.
that I can at least think of. Maybe I'm not creative enough to think of it.
Tank kita jatuh loh, astaga, mati dia
I think that
jatuh.
also just making it against the rules is a really good first step.
Tank ke belakang ya,
Itu di atas dua, di atas dua.
Saya agak ke belakang ya, takutnya saya
Soalnya ada
diam
lagi,
dibunuh
tanya datang lagi, tanya datang lagi.
Ya. Yuk, tank kita ke depan. Di atas ya, Bang, ada Spider-Man.
Dikit lagi Spider-Man-nya itu. Mati. Oh, bukan Spider-Man yang mati.
Spider-Man-nya di saya.
Oh, ya udah.
Ini Spider-Man-nya. Aduh, saya dibokong sama Spider-Man-nya di belakang.
Aduh, aku disikat juga tuh.
Spider-Man-nya ini suka nge-flank dia.
Lincah dia kalau kita
healer.
Aku mau support nih. Tunggu aman dulu ya.
Hati-hati tuh, lumayan juga ini.
Mati dua. Aku mati juga. Oh, aku bisa di revive sama orang ya. Ya. Oh, kalau habis super dia mati, revive ya.
Oh enggak, itu saya, capung saya yang ini capung.
Itu Spider-Man.
Nih, capung. Tuh, nggak habis-habis peluru capung itu.
Reload juga saya klub.
Udah ini udah dihancurin soalnya capung. Cooldown lagi 3 menit. 30 detik. Spider-Man.
Donald Trump in
it's absolutely temporary things. And if in 8 years things become even more sensor-friendly or sensorial than they were in COVID, Meta will shift back to that. Because they don't have any actual values. They're a company that they move where the public moves.
Spider-Man-nya itu menang kita.
Are you guys going to continue this after this
17 kill.
Is this just a temporary thing for the moment?
How can they possibly know
this
that?
This is an opportunity for us to get back to the values that Mark founded the company on. This runs deep for Mark.
Nah, tuh team up aktif tuh. Capung kayak kalau saya lempar ini capung nih. Ada kan itu di bawah ini, tuh circle-nya tuh di bawah ini. Capung harus dalam ini nih, circle ini ya, baru udah habis.
Ada yang tanda ininya ya, tanda infinity-nya ya.
Udah habis. Sekarang saya harus tunggu 29 detik.
Bilang saya kalau mau di ini ya.
Yo.
Quick message itu gimana ya kalau ya? Bentar aku cari.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, setting buruk sekali nih ininya biar performanya buruk sekali gambarnya ini. Biar aja lah.
Kenapa? Capung settingannya.
Iya, yang penting performa naik kan.
Ya. Tag. Nih Spider-Man.
Dikit lagi Spider-Man.
These guys really kind of undercut their credibility when they say that TikTok is China controlled, when the fact is that the company that owns TikTok is actually in Singapore. but part of the ownership of that company in Singapore is partially owned by a company in China, and every company in China needs to have a representative.
Sapong di tempat teritorinya musuh.
So, like, it's not really owned by China, but
Cancel deh itu.
there's an underlying presence in China in TikTok. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So like, and maybe they're just saying this for brevity, but I find it to be misleading. Indirectly controlled by China? Well, they're not the only shareholder there, right?
Hey, team!
With, I
Enjoy
think it's
the
called ByteDance.
amplifier!
So wrong on this one? Really? Because I'm fairly certain that that's what happened.
Team's capture progress has passed the halfway point. You're mine.
Dia orang itu dari tadi butuh heal tapi cuma saya sendiri, saya mati. Besar. Sapong mana?
Jatuh aku saya klub. Ternyata jatuhnya juga ya.
He's not gonna say that. Yeah, he's not gonna say that. By the way, TikTok not the damage to the human.
Congress.
Superman.
Again, we're focused on what we can do to make our platform the best we can.
Mana Sapong? Saya pasang ya Sapong ya, ready?
Ya, ready.
Baru aja dipasang udah ada yang super aja Sapong.
Iya. Berapa detik itu ya?
Cuman 5 detik itu, nggak tahu, 10 detik kayaknya. 10 detik tapi cooldownnya 30 detik.
Astaga.
I don't think that you can see it any
I am ready to put on a show.
I think that it's less likely that Trump would have won the presidency.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Definitely moved the needle.
Bencinya kalah kita.
Hard to say, impossible to say, but it absolutely was an advantage. Yeah, TikTok is cultural cancer in my opinion.
Well, you can't expect
Like,
to do them all.
I understand that a lot of people really don't like TikTok, but the way that the TikTok algorithm works is identical to the way that the YouTube Shorts and the Instagram Reels algorithm works. They feed you the same content. It's basically all the same stuff. So why are these other two okay, but TikTok is universally bad?
We're just glad that we've got the opportunity now to make these kind of changes and to get back to our roots in free expression.
Maybe all social media companies can learn a lot from this because y'all were
They
the
have.
original. You know,
Yeah.
Mark was one of the originals at least, and so y'all have had to see all the changes and what works
Yep.
and what doesn't work and what Americans really want. So thank you for your honesty. Thank you for doing this
Just
for
one exit
children
question.
and all your customers.
Australia has banned social media up until you're 16 years old.
Good
How do
decision.
you feel about that?
We think the right way to do it is to trust parents. That's what we're doing with the teen accounts that I mentioned.
The reality is that his answer is the only realistic solution other than Real ID and removing anonymity from the internet. And if you're a parent and you can't control what your kid is doing, this is also another viewpoint I have. I don't want to have the entire world contrived, and like, I don't want to lose freedom and privacy because some parents are bad. That's not worth it to me. So like, if your kid is going on social media and doing things they shouldn't be doing, maybe that's nobody else's fault except for your own. That's it, right? It's like if your kid gets in, like, this is a good, I don't know if this is a good example, but like, so like if you're falling asleep and your kid is getting in your car and driving around and bull riding, and then they accidentally run somebody over or crash the car into McDonald's, we're not going to go to Toyota or Ford and say,
You'll
how
need
did
a
you let this
top-notch
happen?
team to win
You need
this
to
one.
fix your cars. You're going to go to the parent and
You
say,
don't have to
what
be
the
a
fuck are you
witch to
doing? Let
find the
your kid
magic
drive
in this world.
the car around.
But it does help.
Because that's the parent's responsibility. I don't think kids should be on social media, but you can only really stop it at the parental level. Do you think people should be forced to bring ID with them when they go out? I don't know, but like, that's not really what we're talking about.
Opening escape cancelled.
And, you know, obviously we've got
I've
to work
watched
with
entire
governments and
realities consumed by chaos.
laws that they
I won't
pass.
let that happen
But I
again.
think there's a better way, and that's to
30
put
seconds before
parents
you
in
attack.
charge. They know
Get
what's
ready.
best for their teens and their kids, and that's what we're trying to do.
What's your biggest
Doreen,
customer? What age
I've been
group?
meaning to ask. How
Oh,
soon?
that's a good question.
Oh,
I mean,
tail deep in
we've
nuts.
got
I don't let him do
65
courier
plus.
work
people using
anymore.
our services,
How
so
shitty.
we really have.
She's
Yeah,
coming along.
65
All
plus,
of the
yeah,
space-time
I
continuum
know.
patched up before you know
We
it.
want to make sure we're serving them
Yeah,
all.
79.
Letting them express themselves in a way, especially the teens, where they're still kept safe.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2,
We've talked to David.
AI
Don't forget,
we're really excited
securing
about
the
that.
mission area is your
that
top
post. I
priority.
think he's going to do great things. He really understands the industry. He really understands pushing
That's better.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for having me.
A fair and balanced social media world.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
I'm Steve Busey. I'm Brian Kilby.
An enchanted
I think they did a great job of it. I thought it was going to be bullshit. It wasn't. This was actually a really good interview.
You're not going anywhere.
Yeah, that was actually really, really good. I was very surprised.
Jensen Huang, CEO of NVIDIA, fresh off his keynote last night on stage.
Ed, great to see you.
Happy
Welcome
New
to
Year.
Las Vegas.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Familiar territory.
Congratulations on your new baby.
Thank you very much. A lot's changed since we last spoke, actually.
Yeah.
But it's the broad spectrum of what you announced last night, new graphics cards, new chips, actually, technically in the automotive space, products and services on the software side. Which is the single most important for NVIDIA's future?
They're all important. You know, it's hard. It's all important. It's hard to pick your favorites. You know, we announced 3 chips. We announced a brand new AI, a world foundation model, a first of its kind, and we announced our work in 3 areas in robotics. And they're all important. And you know, the thing, of course, we announced a brand new Blackwell RTX, and it has a new AI technology called Neuro shaders. And we're combining artificial intelligence and classical computer graphics.
We've become so accustomed to your story being dominant in the market for high-performance GPUs, server-rack data centers. This is going back to your roots. It's in the desktop context, there's one right there. Later in the year, a laptop. But for a target base that is developers, nerdy, hardcore gamers, what's the future of that business?
Computer graphics is going to be here forever. And what we've done is we've fused artificial intelligence and computer graphics together. And the images that we're generating today wouldn't be possible if not for the fact that we're using computer graphics to create beautiful pixels and then use artificial intelligence to amplify that capability. For example, you know, out of 4 frames I was talking about yesterday, 33 million pixels or so in 4K. Out of that 33 million pixels, 2 million pixels were computed. Another 31 million pixels were generated by AI.
In other words, the AI predicts what you never miss.
That's right. Yeah, the ultimate generative AI.
But what was interesting for me is the focus, again, was away from the graphics cards, away from Blackwell that underpins and Cosmos. We probably don't have time to explain in more detail Cosmos. We can call it a world foundation.
Cosmos is for the physical world what ChatGPT is for words and text. That's the easiest way to think about that.
Okay, so you could model text input, but can generate synthetic data in multiple mediums.
It understands the physical world. So, for example, if I ask it a question, if I ask it to generate multiple futures of a car driving down the road, it would understand the dynamics of the world. It would understand the object permanence. It would understand geometry and space. And it would create a driving scenario for the car that is plausible.
And you open sourced it. So I don't really think about it as a product or a go-to-market. It's more about what Cosmos enables. Is that how we should think about it?
Yeah, well, the autonomous vehicle industry, the robotics industry is really important to us. And we offer 3 computers for them. We offer, of course, the training computer
through DGX.
the robotics computer that's inside the car or inside a robot. And now we have this new computer called Omniverse with Cosmos that is the digital twin or the playground where these robots can learn how to be robots. And so if we could accelerate the development of artificial intelligence for AVs and for robotics, it brings in a lot of business for us, of course.
There's an academic point of tension here, if I may. Elon Musk is a customer of yours, and Tesla, their theory or practice is based on real-world data gathered through vision. Does the synthetic data underpinning of Cosmos kind of contradict that?
It doesn't replace, it augments. And so you should collect as much world data as you can. Of course, collecting world data is very expensive. And Elon has a great advantage because, number one, his AI factory for his cars is fantastic. Has a lot of NVIDIA gear in it. His AV algorithms is incredible. It's the best in the world. And he has a very large fleet of cars on the road that allows him to collect a lot of data. And so I think he has just a phenomenal position, and he's been working on this for a long time, and so he's going to be in a great position to take advantage of it.
Well, may I ask you at this juncture, he's clearly influential in this upcoming administration, but he also positions Tesla as a leading AI and robotics company.
Yeah, very.
How does that bode for NVIDIA, Elon Musk's influence of President-elect Trump, and also the upcoming administration's kind of attitude towards AI?
I don't know the attitude towards AI. I know Elon's attitude towards AI, and he's very optimistic about its future, and obviously he's working on some of the most important AI areas. XAI is working on foundation, cognitive intelligence AI. Tesla's working on autonomous vehicles, and Optimus is for humanoid robotics. These three areas of AI are the three most important areas of AI, and so I think he's working on exactly the right things.
You kind of positioned AI, NVIDIA's position in the supply chain for physical AI, robotics, autonomous driving. Explain it a bit more, the role you see NVIDIA playing.
Well, we're a core technology company, and so we build the foundational computing platforms. We're also full stack, and so we develop the necessary algorithms, the necessary AI technologies, and then we put it out to the industry for them to adopt it and turn it into end market solutions. We're a computing platform company.
So you're on stage and you're surrounded by, I think, a dozen humanoid robots, which is nice for you. When will I be here at CS in Las Vegas and actually have...
There's some robots right now.
No, but in real terms, you must have a timeline that you see real-world commercial deployment of the technology you outlined last night.
It depends on use case. I would say...
Which will we see first use case?
The first use case will probably be in manufacturing. You know, there's estimates tens, if not 100 million jobs that are workers that are... The world is short of workers. And aging population, declining birth rates. And so I think the world needs a lot more workers. Robotics is one of the best ways for us to supplement all of that and help companies recover the lost revenues on the one hand and drive productivity, which reduces inflation for the world on the other hand. And so I think robotics is going to be very important to that. In different areas, you could have, they'll probably deploy into manufacturing first because they obviously need it most.
Which you see as a ginormous potential market, addressable market.
It's a $50 trillion industry that wants to grow and needs to grow.
Sorry to interrupt you, Jensen. I think the thing that Wall Street's struggling with this morning, among many things, is DGX, they understand the investment there, that trains the foundation models. In terms of NVIDIA's business model, what you outlined last night, Cosmos, and then later on the inference side, how physical AI helps grow your business from there.
Drives DGX growth.
Just simple as that.
Yeah, as simple as that. I think if you just look at simply like that, we have 3 computers, and 2 of the computers, DGX and Omniverse, drives an enormous amount of data that is necessary to train the AI models.
Right.
And so Omniverse creates the data that we then use to train AI models. The training is what drives DGX sales, and the more robots.
2, 1. Don't forget, securing the mission area is your top priority.
For Wuthering Waves was
I
fucking
thought
insane.
the Agents of Atlas were a strange crew.
Like, I played more of it. It's really good. It's impressive. It's good. Wow. It's good.
Feeling stronger
Holy shit. And so, I think this is like probably like one of their biggest moments. Like, I don't think Wuthering Waves is going to go higher than this until probably a 3.0. Like, realistically, I would assume that we play on stream. Maybe a bit, right? Not as good as 1.4, it's on this on 0. Well, see, I haven't played the game at all. I don't know.
This
I think
show
it would be so good. Yeah.
see the new product. They gave it a shot. It was reconfirmed
you chose
to
the
be
wrong
what people
side,
wanted it to be, and now it's recycled again. And it's almost, and what's incredible is, almost near identical spike. This is something that you do not see very often. This is something that you pretty much see never happen. And for
Also for Wuthering Waves, like the game is, it's made by Kuro Games, and Kuro Games made Punishing Grey Ravens before Wuthering Waves. And it was definitely more of like a skill-based gacha game. And I know that like this is a but the fact is that it is more so than other games, right? And so in Wuthering Waves, like it's much more challenging than a lot of these other games. And because of that, you're going to have a longer form of investment because people are going to spend more time playing it. But it's also going to have like a harder. It's going to be harder for people to get into it as well too, because they're not as they're not as good, right? It's like a you can't be garbage and play the game entirely.
That's better.
Debatable. Well, I'm not saying that it's hard. I'm saying it's harder than the other ones.
Zero for Honkai Star Rail. You don't see that happen. On your skill, you notice Zenless Zone Zero spike,
Sorry,
fall
you
off,
chose the
then
wrong
respike
side.
once again, and really maintain a higher average than was previously attainable for the previous data graph. And the reason why that is because Zenless Zone Zero had 1.4 had a massive resurgence in 1.4. It reestablished players' interest and faith in the game, and a lot more people Zenless Zone Zero and Wuthering Waves both are in a great spot. Honkai Star Rail is obviously something to worry about because Honkai Star Rail previously was a lot larger and with dumpster Wuthering Waves. It's currently on a negative trajectory, but we need to see how it goes and still stay forward does not show faith amongst the players.
It's just like a lot of these games, I feel like they kind of burn out and people lose interest in them because the story becomes too complicated and it becomes complicated or confusing for players. And I think also like the more that like a game like it's gonna be that's gonna be really big. But I think that with gacha games, people are always looking for the new gacha game because there's no FOMO with the new gacha game because everybody's playing and starting at the same point. So like, for example, there's a barrier to entry with Genshin for me, where like, I don't want to play Genshin in some ways because I don't have Hu Tao, right? I don't have all these other characters that were added into the game like 2022 or something. And so, yeah, you can wait for like return banners, but at the same time, it's like now you're like trying to get two characters at the same time. It's more farming or more money either way. And so, I think that's a huge factor for people.
Here's what I want to say. Wuthering Waves experienced something astronomical where the state and the players in that mystical artifact of some sort like this spike fall.
Sorry to ruin your fun,
We're not seeing this in all of Wuthering Waves. We can tell this by the previous patch as well. Spike, fall off, nobody gets it, right? This is the first real patch. Okay, there's something going on. Obviously, this is all just speculation. I can only tell you what I know, and I'm basing all this off of public perception and what I think what's going on.
The reason why I stopped playing Honkai Star Rail is because I just didn't really feel like it. And I kind of hit a ceiling in the game. Like, that's usually what happens with me whenever I play a game like this, is that I'll hit a ceiling in the game. And then after I hit the ceiling, I just kind of stop. And I usually don't come back regularly. Like turn-based? No, that's not the reason why. Like, it has nothing to do with it. I got bored of Star Rail. Yeah, you also finished the content at the time. Yeah, exactly, right? And, the game's boring. Well, it's not that it's boring. It's that I will do, like, the mod chaos, or I'll do the swarm disaster, or I'll do like whatever the simulated universe is. I'll do all of it, and then I'll beat it a couple of times, and it's like, okay, I win. And then I kind of move away from the game, and then I don't come back to it whenever they add new content. That's usually what happens. Like, cause that's what happened with Lord Like, my character was OP as fuck, and so I just kind of stopped playing. Right? Like, I leveled everything up, I completed all the content, and then it's hard to like get me to come back every patch to play for like 10 hours. Because I just end up playing something else.
Clock's ticking. We need to get there fast.
God, the genre quite vigorously. But Wuthering Waves is in a very good spot.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Yeah.
Every video that's being covered in Wuthering Waves is blowing the fuck up. And PR for this game is astronomical.
Goodbye.
Honkai Star Rail is also in a bit of, I don't think Honkai Star Rail is doing that. It's still more relevant than Episode 0. However, it is more important to compare how it's doing within itself. And Honkai Star Rail is the lowest standard. 3.0 Notorious is so damn important. And I can honestly say with 100% assurance that I have no idea what the fuck is going to go on. I am so scared for 3.0's launch, it's actually not. I really want to trust the dev, but I'm really worried.
I also think that like the 2.0 update, the Pentatoni update that they did, was like really good. And I think people will compare it to that. And I find it to be unlikely that the story is going to be as good as Pentatoni. I find it to be extremely
enchanted totem.
Just, I mean, because it's really good. I like it. 3.0 has 8 banners. Yeah, but like, here's the problem. Is that if you have 8 banners, players get overwhelmed and they don't know what to do. So you get into something, and this is true, like if you guys ever done like any online marketing or online sales, you put a consumer into a position of decision paralysis where the person doesn't know like this, that, or the other thing, and so they don't know what to do, and like, oh my god, and then they just don't do anything. Right? Analysis paralysis. And so that's why a lot of like merchandise drops, like you could release 40 products, but you only release 8 or like, you know, 15 because you want to avoid creating that psychological effect.
That the game is going to continue to fall victim to power creep, I want to. I love Honkai Star. I'm hoping that they get their shit together with 3.0 and really deliver a good product. I will probably make a follow-up video on the analytics on that as soon as I can. Zone 0 has done a great job as well of reestablishing player interest and player faith. These graphs are very good for GG for Genshin.
I think that's definitely
Honkai Star.
Like, I mean, for like I've heard good things about Zone 0 ever since the release. Like it does seem like they've improved the game a lot from when I originally played it. Because when I originally played it, I couldn't even finish it. Like it was just so bad, I couldn't even finish the game, man. It's crazy.
Things are really up in the air. I would bet money that surely now
Interesting.
Yeah, well, I think that's true.
Is one that I really he's right. Worldwide, I don't care. Full disclosure, I don't really care what's going on in China. I don't care. The only place I care about is the only 60 seconds left. That's where I'm from, and that's where 70% of my audience.
Can't delay any longer.
I do think it does matter. Because like you're gonna have people, it'll give you an indicator, because if a game isn't doing well in its home country, the chances of it being successful or being continued is like very low. I think a good example of this is like Protocol. Like Protocol didn't even it didn't even come out in the so Concord they had to do a post-pro promotion. Protocol just got aborted. Like they were like, yeah, shut it down.
With the amazing Spider-Man,
because it was already bad. It only matters in China anyway since the start. Yeah, in China that's where it really matters.
You're not going anywhere.
Look at how it's doing in the U.S. It's pretty. Heads up, we got it on.
Final 10 seconds.
ZZZ, really.
Moving again.
Any like
people are invested in that game. I'm shocked.
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
Genshin Mega's also doing great. This is very interesting. It also shows that Honkai Star Rail is doing far better in the US.
Well, it's because fat, lazy Americans can't press buttons. So Zenless Zone Zero and Wuthering Waves requires you to like have reaction time and to respond to things. But like in Honkai Star Rail, you can just do autoplay. And so you can have like all the fat Walmart, you know, McDonald's